Hello loves, happy Tuesday, my favourite day of the week. Did I tell you I actually started therapy again? You know I love therapy. Your gal loves a therapy session and I'm back in therapy because why not? Preach it. And my session's on a Tuesday as well. So on a Tuesday I get my girl Karen, who I love, and my podcast out. So it's my favourite day. So happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a good week. You know, I said last week I had a bit of a bad week. Ms. Anxiety was back. She was around and she wasn't fun. Turned it around this week. I really made the effort to not go back into that. I think when you've had anxiety, you're almost frightened of going back to having it really bad, or at least I am. So for me, it's like, right, I've had a bad week. I cannot do that again. So let's make changes. And I've had a very wholesome week. And me and the girls have changed our plans from dinner and drinks to hot girl walks. We're loving it. We're wholesome. We're going to go on little bakery crawls, cafe crawls, go on a bar crawls. Bar crawls, who's she? She's not here for me anymore. I'm all about bakery crawls. So, I mean, prepared to see me put on about 10 stone, but at least I'll be happy. At least I'll be anxiety free. Anyway, let's get straight into this week's story. I'm excited about this one. I know what it's about, but I haven't read it because I always like to read it live when I record. But I know that it's about the invisible string theory, which I feel like I keep talking about. And we've had a couple of stories in. And yeah, now we've got a story this week. So let me get into it. My fiancé and I have been together for almost 7 years. While getting to know each other at the beginning of our relationship, we realised we have had so many chances we could have met before but didn't. He used to play in a band that would play at an under-18 nightclub I'd go to when I was younger. I'd have stood and listened to him sing and play guitar, never knowing he'd be my future husband. Oh my God, I love that. Imagine. Around the ages of 14 to 17, I worked at a seaside arcade in the school holidays. I'm loving this whole vibe, by the way. It's just really sweet, isn't it, and wholesome. The under-18s club and working in a seaside arcade. It's giving Gavin and Stacey. It's giving Nessa and Dave. Dave's coaches. Right, sorry. Around the ages of 14 to 17, I worked at a seaside arcade in the school holidays. His next door neighbour worked with me and he used to drop her off at work while I was there, and again we never met. This girl I worked with ended up becoming my friend. I used to go to her house next door to my now fiancé's. I'd hang out there or pick her up to come to mine. Again, we never met. We were both with other people and had children. He has 2 and I have 1. Both of our first sons were born in the same year, and then we both split with our then partners on the same month and year. That is crazy. We didn't meet until we had both been separated from our children's other parents for around 15 months. We met at work, I got a new job, and he was my boss. It turns out we both started with this company on the same day, just in different positions. I truly believe we weren't supposed to meet until that point, as I genuinely believe it may not have worked if we were too young, and we also wouldn't have our beautiful boys. We've now been together almost 7 years. We have a beautiful home. Our 3 boys get on great, just like brothers. We run a thriving company. We are getting married soon and are trying for a child together. He is my everything. He has given me a life I couldn't have dreamed of and supported me through some really hard times. I feel so blessed. I truly believe everything happens for a reason and that the people in life we are supposed to be with or meet are destined for us and will find their way with that invisible thread. I absolutely love that. I think that's one of my favorite, if not the favorite, invisible thread story I've seen, because there's so many chances there for them to meet. But I think what's even crazier is the timing of it all. Like, they both split up with their exes at the same time. They both had their sons at the same time. It's like they live in a parallel universe. Like, you can just tell, for me, looking at that, that's like a film. And you'd be watching it and you'd just be able to tell that they're going to end up together at the end. Obviously, they had no idea. And then also how funny to end up working together and him being your boss. Love that. Love a bit of boss and employee action. Oh, I love that. That is the cutest little story. I'm really happy we've got some nice love stories. Actually, guys, it's Valentine's next week. And, you know, I do absolutely love love, and we know that when I first started this podcast, that was my goal, to spread only nice love stories, and it didn't work out that way. And to be fair, I'm so grateful for that, because it's made me realise just personally that love isn't always perfect, and it's not always meant to go smoothly from start to finish, and so many different things can happen. Like even with our story, I feel like a different type of person could be looking at that and thinking, I've split from my parents' partner, my parents, bloody hell. I've split from my child's father or partner or wherever, and you can feel quite down on it. And I think it's very easy when you see all these perfect love stories to think that's how my story was meant to go and now it's a failure. I saw Paloma Faith the other day, a clip of her on This Morning, and she split up with the father of her child, I think like 2 years ago, and she was saying how she feels like a failure. It's like the one thing that she's, let her child down for that and all this stuff. And Alison Hammond, the Queen, was like, that is not a failure, this is your life. And she was so lovely. I'll see if I can find the clip and I'll share it on the @LoveWhatLuck Insta. And yeah, I feel like it's very easy to think that when your story goes wrong, but ultimately life isn't smooth and happy all the time. And I think when you read a story like that, it's like, oh yeah, that's such a happy ending now, but not after they both went through shit together. So that's important to remember. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, this podcast has taught me a lot about love stories and dating. So I'm grateful for all the stories, but it is Valentine's next week. And, Valentine's, Galentine's, Palentine's, whoever you're celebrating it with, it is the time for love. So if you've got any lovely stories, please send them in to sadie@lovewhatluck.com, or you can send me a DM. I'm on my Facebook page, the Instagram @lovewhatluck, then whichever you prefer. All the links are in the show notes, but please send some nice stories. I think it'd be nice to have a really cute episode. Also, if you've got any funny Valentine stories, then obviously we're always up for a laugh. So if you have got a bit of a disastrous one, then send it through because it is always good. I'm sure there'll be somebody listening on Valentine's like going through it and probably won't want all the love stories. So it's nice to mix it up with some light-hearted disasters as well. I actually saw a boy on the tube the other day. I was getting home from work and there was this young boy with a bouquet of flowers, and I thought it was the sweetest thing. And I was trying to imagine, I was sat next to him, the flowers smelt gorgeous, by the way. Like, I don't know where he got them from, but the smell, the fact that I could smell them on the tube, I was like, that is a good bunch of flowers. And I was trying to romanticize like, we'd be getting them for. And I came up with the conclusion that he was getting them for his mother. I don't know why. I think it's because it was like a weekday, and I just thought, he might be going home to his mother and he might be getting them for his mother. And yeah, it was really sweet. Romance isn't dead. So yeah, please send your stories in. And also, as you're there, please come and follow me. Follow the @LoveWhatLuck Instagram. I'm posting more and more on there now, finally. So yeah, please come and follow me, and follow me on Spotify if you're not already, and leave me a little review. I think I'm on I think I'm on. I know exactly what number I'm on. I don't know why I'm trying to act coy on here. I'm on 165 reviews and 5-star. We're on a clean sweep, which I am so happy about. But I'd really love to get to 200, I feel like we've been at 165 for a while, and I'm grateful, but I feel like it would be nice to just ramp up the reviews. So if you haven't already on Spotify, please just go, all you got to do is just click the 5 stars, and it's nothing for you, but a lot for me. Right, this week I listened to Paul Bronston. I think that's how you say his surname. The guy from Celebs Go Dating. Which, have I told you the story that I was on Celebs Go Dating once? And I actually met Paul Bronson. I must have said before because, well, I don't know if I, wherever. He is so lovely. Obviously, I still met him in a professional setting, but he was just exactly the same. You can tell he's super into love and dating and matchmaking. And yeah, so I really like him, and I saw that he was on Diary of a CEO, so I listened to that. I mean, I am honestly, like, I don't think you have any idea how much content and stuff that I consume over dating and love. Like, I didn't just do this podcast for the fun of it. I am so obsessed with everything. I read so many books and listen to stuff. So I always get very excited when I see a guest on something that I actually like. Anyway, he said this thing, right? Have you ever heard of this? It's called the golden mean. And basically it means that apparently the ideal body type of a woman to a man is their waist being 70% of what their hips are. So the waist being here, and then there's like an extra 15% on each side to their hips, which obviously gives that hourglass shape. And I think that's been around for a really long time. And then he was saying like Kim K is probably like 50-50 because her waist goes in so much and then her hips come out. But generally that's always the shape. And apparently that's what makes you seem fertile to men. This is going back years, right? It's a scientific study. And then apparently the ideal body shape for a woman of a man is their shoulders, the man's shoulders being 70% wider than what their waist is. So the shoulders are 70% and the waist at 30%, which I thought was really interesting because the hourglass, I can understand, that's been around for years. Even when you look at mannequins and perfume bottles of women, like they always got that shape. And I do understand, obviously, with men and shoulders. But Stephen Bartlett was saying, oh yeah, it's interesting you say that because I asked my girlfriend the other day, obviously she asked him first. I asked my girlfriend the other day what her favourite body part of me was, and she said my shoulders. And apparently it means a protective thing. So this is going back years and years, obviously, when women had to find men to protect them and for safety. And obviously big shoulders and like a big guy does feel like he'd protect you. But I've never had a little shoulder thing. I used to have a friend literally when I was in primary school that was obsessed with shoulders and backs. Like if she'd met a guy she liked or whatever, she was like, oh, and his shoulders were massive. And she used to be really into it, but I don't think I've ever noticed it. And then I was thinking, I was like, I don't know what body type or part I like in a guy other than a good dick. Obviously, I had to say it. The joke was there. It's not a joke, but it is also for anyone that knows me listening. I mean, I'm not into the big ripped bodies, see. I have dated, obviously, a couple of people saying this, though, with super ripped bodies. And have I said the story before where I was watching one guy and I was like, oh my God, like his body was insane. But generally, I'm not into it that much. I used to have a boyfriend that was ripped, but not like in a big muscly way, just in a naturally kind of skinny ripped way. And this is quite rude, and I wasn't planning on saying the story, but you know, I'm like, if something comes into my head, I'm gonna have to say it. But basically, when we slept together, his hip bones would dig in me and cause me a little bit of discomfort and pain, actually. So that's not good to have somebody that ripped. And yeah, I don't know what, but I think I kind of like a nice bum. But even when I say that, it makes me cringe because I kind of hate the thought of boys' bums at the same time. But then I do notice them. So definitely maybe a nice bum. I don't know. Overall for me, as long as they, you know, I think I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't know what body type I like in a guy, I think is what I'm getting at. The thing I probably notice most about him is their feet. As I've said, I'm like, please let him not have really bad feet. Yeah. What's your favourite body parts? Please come and let me know. Comment below. Because is this true? Do women like guys' shoulders? Do guys like women hourglass figures? You know, it is changing now in the beauty industry. I did have a boyfriend that used to love, like, if I'd be touching him on the side or if we'd be talking on the side in bed, he used to love, like, the dip when you, like, a woman's waist naturally goes in, yeah? And he used to feel that and always be like, I love this dip in your body. So I guess from my experience it might be true. I don't know. Please come and let me know your thoughts because I've never thought about it before and I genuinely don't know. I think honestly what my favourite thing on a man is his face. If he's got like a really nice face that makes me feel happy and comfortable, and if he's got a really nice smile, then that's probably my favourite thing. Bodies? yeah, bodies I'll come and go with. It is interesting though how when you think back years ago, like this is what they were saying on the podcast, and I've heard so much stuff about it before, that women years and years ago, that's how you used to have to choose a partner. It would basically be one that could keep you alive. So I recently watched, I think it's called 1883. There's basically Yellowstone. There's 2 prequels to it, and I always forget the numbers. I think one of them's called 1883, wherever the first one is. And that's what that is. You're basically just dicing with death your whole life. Like, thank God I wasn't born in that time. I'd be gone as, I reckon I'd last until I was 70 in maximum, because I just wouldn't be able to cope with it. But you have to choose a partner that can protect you. So you would have to choose somebody based on their body size, how strong they are, if they can fight for you, if they can take a bullet, maybe. Oh no, there weren't any bullets in 1883. Well, whatever. How times have changed. Maybe that's why I don't think about it now, because touch wood, thank God, I don't need a man to protect me. Why is that? Why does that sound a little bit tragic as I say it out loud? I'm like the girl with the Love What Luck podcast saying out loud, I don't need a man protect me. My God, I'm going to stop talking about that. Anyway, moving swiftly on. I asked you guys this week on the Love What Luck Insta. Oh, actually, I remembered. I asked you as well. Do you remember last week we had the story about the woman that was debating whether or not she should break up with her partner, who was so lovely everywhere, but the bedroom wasn't quite right. And so many of you got involved with that. So if whoever wrote in is listening, then take a look at the comments. Obviously, like, take anybody's opinion with a pinch of salt. Like I said in the episode, only you know what you got to do. But lots of you got into that and was saying, you know, that you have to talk to somebody. And then basically I asked on the Instagram, would you break up with someone if everything was perfect apart from the sex? And 68% of you said no, and 32% said yes. So I thought that was quite a nice thing. It shows that as much as people like talk about sex and how it's the most important thing and all this stuff, it shows that a lot of us deep down do actually prioritise, you know, love and safety and a good relationship, basically, and are willing to work through things. So that's always good. Oh, another thing that Paul Bronston said was he thinks that Gen Zs are going to have the most successful marriage rate, even though there'll be less marriages in our generation. Apparently they're going to have the more successful marriages because they're both going to be more open to being not traditional, and they're going to be doing the work on themselves more. So yeah, I think even with that, it kind of shows that the tide is changing and you don't have to put up with stuff anymore. People will talk about things and we're willing to do the work. I do sometimes think like we're so lucky that we've got access to podcasts, and I mean, not mine. Not mine, but you know, you've got access now to like world-renowned therapists and stuff on podcasts that, like, she could put that in the internet and get advice from somebody for free, which I think is amazing. Anyway, back to this. I asked you guys, what is the worst message you can receive? Here are some of the answers. Your STI results show. We went straight in hard with that one. That is a scary, scary time when you're waiting for that text. There's no getting out of this. It's scary, scary hours. Do you know, I went, if I said the story, I don't know. I went before. Like, now you can do STI tests online. You know, you can do them discreetly. It's all great. But there was a time that you had to go and physically see somebody to get these done. And I remember going because, you know, practice, preach, love, safe sex. And I was filling out the form. I can't remember if I've said this story before. I was filling out the form and it was saying, asking questions like, have you been with anybody that, you know, is from abroad, and all these questions. And I was fully hyperventilating in the waiting room, that by the time I got into the doctor's room, I burst into tears and I was convinced I had HIV. Convinced. She was like, are you okay? I was like, oh, I feel so stupid. I think I might have HIV. She was like, right, we're just going to calm down now. Obviously I didn't have, well, not obviously, but I didn't have anything. But scary time. So yeah, waiting for those results. Scary hours. Okay. Hey, I had a really good time, but... Oh, no. That's so annoying. It's better than being ghosted, I think. Or is it? Because if you're being ghosted, you can change and train your mind to think something different. You could be like, do you know what? Maybe they passed away. Maybe they moved abroad. Maybe they've had a massive injury and they're going to get back in touch in 6 months. Maybe they've had to go and work. Maybe they've been drafted for war. And you can believe that and be at peace. But seeing a, hey, I had a really good time, but is like, oh, I had a really good time, but I'm not feeling it. But I think you're ugly. But I don't like you enough. Like, oh my God. Bad. Oh, another one. Hey, girly, I just thought you should know. That's the Instagram requests. They are never good. Oh, I can relate to this one. I have this exact one. Just your name. This is one of the scariest things for me. I swear to God, if somebody messages me just Sadie as a standalone message, my heart is in my mouth. I'm like, what is coming next? Who's died? Who's going to jail? Who's after you? Who's after me? Who's cheated? Like, there is not one single good thought that comes into my mind when I see a message with Sadie. Although I have learned now that a couple of my friends say it for dramatic effect, and I've learned to calm my nervous system. There's one friend in particular, if she messages me Sadie, I'm like, okay, something funny is coming. Something funny is coming, because 9 times out of 10, it's like, Sadie, my pants just came down, or I just walked into my boss on the toilet, which, is bad for them, but doesn't give me anxiety, and for that I'm grateful. But yeah, I find those really scary, because sometimes it's like, Sadie, something has failed. Like, it's like when you're younger, if your parents say your full name, then you know you're in trouble. Like, if my mother or father say Sadie, I'm like, maybe that's where it comes from, actually. Using my therapist brain, it always does relate back to childhood. It's probably because my parents, if they used to give me a row, would call me by my first name or be like, I'm so disappointed in you, Sadie. They'd never say, I'm so disappointed in you, Sad. Say Sad. It's fine. No lesson learned. Say Sadie at the end of it. Cuts me like a knife. So maybe that's it. Maybe it's past trauma. Another one, your dental appointment is due. People do have bad fears with dentists. I personally enjoy the dentist. I quite like it. I like knowing that everything's okay in there. But my friend did text me the other day saying she'd gone to the dentist for the first time in 4 years, and I actually couldn't believe it. So yeah, some people are scared. My auntie's afraid of the dentist as well, actually. Another one for the ladies, your smear test is due. All know that pain. It's not fun. Another one interesting. She's put the poo emoji. My poo is like lava from my husband upstairs. See, guys, this is just something that I'm not going to be ready for in marriage. I simply just don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want to know how my husband's toileting habits are. And unfortunately, I just think it seems inevitable in marriages. What is it about the humans that love talking about their shit and their toileting struggles to other people? I don't want to know. That would be one of the worst messages for me to receive. Like, why do you need to tell me what your stomach habits are like? Please, I'm meant to make love to you later. I don't want that thought in my head. Oh, I just think it's inevitable. Another one, K, just the letter K. That is jarring. I'm sorry, that's rude. And if I ever said the letter K to somebody, then just best know you're in trouble. You are not on my good side. I don't think I've ever okayed to somebody. I mean, I must have when I was younger, maybe, but K is absolutely savage. Just a letter. okay, it takes 1 second and you're not even going to put the O in front of it. You're making a point out of that. Writing just K is a statement, I'm sorry. And it works. Oh my God, another one. The thumbs up emoji. The thumbs up emoji, I swear, is a boy thing. Like, a boy will use a thumb up emoji. And it's even worse now with reactions on WhatsApp. Now you can just send a reaction. Whilst that's really good for some things, with a like heart, I'm all up for that. Reacting with a thumbs up, bore off. I'm sorry, send a reply or just like it with a heart. A thumbs up. Are you having a laugh? What do you think I am? Like your 50-year-old boss or something? No, I just think it's rude. I don't like the thumbs up emoji. I would only use it sarcastically. Like literally like, this is how I picture the thumbs up. If you're sending it seriously, like, oh, by the way, imagine this. I had such a shit day at work today. I'm coming home and I'm having a bath and I'm just going to chill out and be off my phone for the night. I've had a bad day and now you want to make it 10 times worse. I'm sorry, no. No, a thumbs up emoji is savage. Absolutely no. This one, hands down, wins. Hands down. We need to talk. Makes me feel anxious just reading it out. We need to talk. There's no worse message you can send somebody. I don't care if it's your friend, your partner, your boss. Nothing good is ever going to come from a we need to talk message. Because if it's something happy, if you need to book a holiday, you don't say we need to talk about it later. You say let's talk about it later. Completely changes the tone. Yeah, let's. Please, let us talk about it. I would love to. We need to talk is we obviously don't want to. We obviously should, but we need to. We obviously haven't yet. We need to. Like, oh my God. It's a need, not a want. And if you don't want to talk to somebody about something, chances are it's because it's horrendous. That is easily the worst one for me. Oh my God. Also, we need to talk later or we need to talk tomorrow. Mate, just talk to me now. Don't elongate the pain. That's another worse one, like we need to talk later. No, don't send me the message now unless you're ready to talk. Don't let me harbour these thoughts in my mind for an hour. Either say we need to talk now so that the anxiety is like minimised as much as it can be, or just don't say it. Don't say it until you're ready. Don't say we need to talk tomorrow. That's the cruelest thing you can do to somebody. Well, you think I'm going to sleep now? You think I'm going to sleep now and wait for this conversation to happen the next day? 12 hours at least? No. Cruel. Very, very cruel. Okay, time for another story. I actually found this one on Reddit/TikTok and yeah, it was wild. The title of it was, I cut my parents off because I found out they have an open marriage. To say I was hooked. So basically, this girl was out shopping in shopping centre and saw her mother hand in hand with another man that wasn't her father. So she's freaking out thinking, oh my God, my mother is having an affair. How dare she? So she follows them, ending up in this man's house, confronts them and is like, what are you doing, Mum? You're cheating on Dad. I can't believe you would do this to him. Like freaking out. And the mother goes, wait, you need to calm down. Rings the father. The father knows because they're both in an open marriage. So they try to sit her down and tell her, look, this is something we've agreed to do. We're in an open marriage. We've been doing it for a while. It's good for us. And she just could not handle it. The daughter could not handle it. And she said that because she was still living with him at the time, she was only young, it would just kill her seeing her mother like getting ready to go out and then just be gone all night and seeing her father at home, or obviously sometimes it would switch. And she said one time she was on the floor crying, begging her mother not to go. Please, I hate this. And the mother still went. And it caused her such severe trauma that she cut them off, didn't speak to them at all. And then 4 years later, she got engaged. So her parents heard and reached out and wanted to meet her fiance. And she said no. She said they couldn't come to the wedding, and she's in therapy. And she said the main issue that she felt was that every time they said that they couldn't go and watch her in a play, or they couldn't pick it up, or they couldn't do certain things, she felt like they were choosing to use the time going to see their other partner, and she just couldn't handle it, so she completely cut them off. Traumatising. I think she was 16 or something, so it was like really... I think like if I found that out now, I'd be like, oh, Jesus Christ, don't even tell me anything about it, good God. Like, but I'm an adult, so it wouldn't affect me so much. But at 16, if I found out my parents were in an open marriage, it'd probably be the first time I'd heard about an open marriage. I'd be like, oh, I would be so confused. Best believe I'd have trauma. I would have been in therapy, I'm sure, even earlier, because... that is a lot to deal with. I just think you just want to think about your parents always as two people that fell in love and slept together only to conceive. So, you know, I've got one sister and me, which means my parents slept together twice, and I'm happy with that. I'm content with that. They love each other, and that's it. And I think generally that's how most people like to think about their parents. But as you get older, you do realise, shit, they are actually just two human beings. Like, I was saying this to my friend the other day. She had the same thing. Obviously, when you're in therapy and stuff, they always ask about you growing up, and you know, you tend to realise that, oh well, my mother always told me this, or my father always said this to me, and then you realise maybe that wasn't the right thing to do, and you realise they're just normal people. It'd be like me having a child now. Imagine the trauma I would give to that child if I'd had a baby right now. It'd probably be on the side, you're a little toddler. First words would be like open marriage. Talking about all this stuff I talked about on the podcast. They have to get a little earphones to blank it all out. Yeah. How do you deal with your parents being in an open marriage as a child? Like I said, I wouldn't find it hard now. I would find it honestly just quite funny, and I just wouldn't be able to handle hearing about it. It's weird because open marriages, I think, are quite common now. Common now. And generally, I do think people are coming around to the idea more, but, you know, your parents doing anything is just a whole different thing, innit? Like, that story, the girl was a lesbian, and she, you know, got engaged for a fiance. She's obviously fine with that, but if her mother turned around and said to her, I'm going to be a lesbian, she'd probably be like, no, oh my God. Because like I said, I just think you want to think about your parents not as people, and as just two people that just, you know, are happy, love, no drama, and only had sex to have you. Yeah. Before I go, I've just got to give a shout out to the corner shop, just generally as a whole entity, because I tell you, I was desperate this week for nothing more. I didn't want anything else other than Flaming Hot Monster Munch. And do you think I could get them? No, not for love, no money. I tried every shop you could think of in the city near home. If I pass a shop, I'd be like, even if I didn't want the crisps in that moment, I was like, I have to have them. Like, texture is a very big thing for me, and I really wanted the texture of a Flaming Hot Monster Munch. Nothing else would cure that craving at all. I went to every shop. I saw pickled onion Monster Munch. I saw beef Monster Munch. No Flaming Hot anyway. And then I'm walking home and I spotted this corner shop, and I just knew. I knew that they were going to have all the best ones there. I knew. Oh, the elastic in my hair has just snapped. That's upsetting. Oh no. Okay, well, I've nearly finished, so I'm just going to end the podcast holding my ponytail. I just knew they'd have them in. I knew they wouldn't let me down, and they didn't. I went and I spent £5 on just crisps. I thought, I'm just going to stock up on whatever I see you. They had peanut puffs, my absolute favourites. Rogue choice, but delicious. They had Transformer snack. I didn't even look at the chocolate section. I was like, I've got to get out here. I've got to get out. But yeah, just shout out to the corner shop, because I did see a meme the other day saying that nobody's seen you look worse than the people in your corner shop. And I just thought, yeah, they're always there for you, and they never pass any judgment. I used to live above a Lebanese shop, and they used to see me steaming after a night out. They used to see me hungover, And they just loved me. They never passed any judgment. They used to let me go behind the counter when I was drunk, play clean. Like, they used to give me free food. They just never judged. And I just think those are the best types of people. And the corner shop are the same. They see you through all different stages. Like, they see you going through the comfort eat. They see you, you know, crying, wanting comfort food. And yeah, just a shout out to them, because they made my week this week. They really came through at my time of need. And were the crisps worth it? Absolutely. Oh my God, love them. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna stop talking now. Please, guys, make sure to send me your stories in. Make sure you're following and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening. I'm hoping to get a lot of nice stories for our Valentine's episode next week. So yeah, please make sure to send them in, and I'll speak to you then.